as Pink Floyd ascended into stardom, by way of a shocking irony, their colleague and former band member Syd Barrett descended into brain damage, elicited by the stress of his rock world lifestyle. The Lunatic is on the Grass is a perfect allegory for what many of us fear today, the loss of our brain power. The brain is greater than anything you could ever imagine. It's a vast and complex organ, but the horrendous truth is that even in our prime, we only use 10 to 15% of it for 80% of the time. And as we age, most people imagine that we'll use even less. But research is dispelling this greatest of myths, the pernicious falsehood that I call 3 lies in 1. We're going to decline vastly as we age, it's inevitable, and we can't do anything about it. A revolutionary finding in 2019 rocked the world of neuroscience. Scientists at the University of Madrid discovered that new brain cells are made throughout life, right until our 9th decade. Yes, the brain has the capacity to rejuvenate itself. And with rejuvenation comes the realization that we can preserve the health of our brain. Brain health is much more than the absence of disease. Health involves the capacity not only to resist illness, but to survive challenges and to adapt to the changing circumstances of life. But how do we know that our brain's in good shape? In 2018, an international group of specialists forming the Global Council on Brain Health identified a surprisingly simple test: whether you function well in daily life. This may sound overly simplistic, but the group, for which I'm a special advisor, found that the brain requires 3 vital functions to work together simultaneously. Executive function, or our ability to think, reason, and remember. Social cognition, which enables us to interact successfully with others. And emotional regulation, through which we generate our sense of well-being. Perfecting the smooth integration of these 3 functions has taken some 2 million years of evolution. Now research that takes this long view into account is revealing new and unexpected ways to keep our brains healthy for longer, which we will reveal in a future video. All 3 of these vital functions come under attack from the ravages of age and lifestyle. The role of inflammation is particularly crucial. We normally think of inflammation as the acute response of the immune system to an injury or infection. And we're all familiar with the description in AD 100 by the Roman author Cornelius Celsus: redness and swelling with heat and pain, as in a bee sting or burn. Essentially, inflammation is our immune system protecting us. However, it must be kept in check or it will become chronic. A subtle but invisible process that goes on in our bodies on a daily basis and increases as we age. Unless we do something about it, the general level of inflammation in our bodies will rise year by year, and in our brains. The progress of inflammation is made worse by another age-related process called oxidative stress. Our DNA molecules suffer 30,000 attacks every day by particles in our cells called reactive oxidation species, ROS. Essentially, these are electrically charged particles such as superoxide, which are normal byproducts of our body chemistry and which have a spare pair of electrons. This unstable pair drives them to scavenge around the cells of our body looking for other stabilizing pairs. The subsequent theft of electrons from vital molecules is very damaging and makes inflammation worse. In the UK, there are 800,000 people with dementia, and a further 3 to 4 million with mild cognitive impairment. But as awful as those statistics are, they are not the numbers that should worry us. Under the age of 65, there are 42,000 people with dementia. Every diagnosis of dementia or mild cognitive impairment is preceded by 20 to 30 years of neurodegeneration and inflammation. So in these people, astonishing as it may seem, the disease process may have started as early as 35 years of age. What you may not know is that the aging of our brain begins very early in life. It's progressive, and as the pace increases as the years go by, even in our 20s and 30s, there are measurable changes in our brain's performance. But now, there's extraordinary evidence that the aging of our brains may actually be reversed. And this may be achieved by lifestyle factors that are anti-inflammatory. By reducing inflammation, we slow down decline, and many of us will now be able to reach our oldest years with our faculties intact. Brain damage, by which we mean neurodegeneration, is not inevitable. Even something simple as listening to music may prevent it.